Well, here we are. We are here. So let me explain. When I was a kid, I used to go to church all the time, and one thing I've always wanted to do was to get baptized. I remember 7-year-old me seeing all of my peers get baptized and thinking, one day that's gonna be me. Well, after my mom had passed away in 2008, I stopped going to church and getting baptized wasn't important anymore. That is until now. Now this short series is going to be sort of like a public baptism / cleansing ritual. Every episode I'll be sharing a particular story with y'all and what I learned from it. Afterwards, I'll baptize myself and that's it. So these are some key moments that I feel like really impacted my trajectory and mindset in life. Now not all of it is pretty, so if you will have me, please follow along with me on this journey as you get to learn more about the real me. Here we are, Taylor Talks in Ice. That's what I'm gonna call it for right now. Have this giant little ice tub thingy. Let's do this cold plunge. First of all, let's do this. I want to say shout out to Energy Studios for giving me a solemn place to help tell my story. Definitely a great person, great human being for doing this and kind of opening up his studio to, just kind of aid in me creating this vision. And for anyone else out there that is looking for a space, that's looking to create whatever they want to, from doing this little cold plunge to doing whatever you want. Okay, all right. She just started doing it. Whatever you want. This is the space to do it. So check out Energy Studios on Instagram. I think it's ES Creative Space. Check it out. This is a cool spot, and I'm glad that I have this space to create. So yeah, this is by far okay, it's easy. You know what? Do the whole bag. Come on, we ball. Yeah. I instantly felt the cold. I can like feel it dispersing throughout this water. Okay, I can get through this. I don't know why I'm doing this. Use me, God. Now, we all have a story. We all live through a certain trauma in our lives. I feel like we are a product of our trauma, our personality, how we carry ourselves, the relationships that we have, just who we are to the core. That is in result to whatever trauma we've been through. Now, this is something that I've never shared on social media before. I've shared it with a few friends, those that's close to me, but I never shared this on publicly. So for those of y'all who may know, my mom passed away December 17, 2008. I'll never forget the date. I was 10, 11 years old, and I watched my mom die in front of me. Now, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm about to tell y'all the real. Now, this is tough for me because younger, I didn't really process it. Being able to talk to my mom one moment and then 30 minutes to an hour later, she's just gone. And I'm just witnessing all of that. It's tough. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I feel led to share this now because I just feel like it's time. There's some reason why this happened. Everything happens for a reason. I really feel that way. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm sharing it. The older I've gotten in life, I thought I was gonna heal. I thought I was gonna get better, but honestly, I felt worse. The older I got, the worse it felt, because these moments now in my life, me being 28 years old, I need her. I need that motherly support, that motherly love. I envy my friends and those that have mothers that they could talk to. I envy that. I do wish I had that, but it's okay. It's okay. I know everything happens for a reason. So let's talk about how my mom passed away. This is important. So my mom was a narcoleptic. She had seizures. She had the worst kind of seizures, which is called grand mal seizures. Basically what that means is she would have a seizure and she would go unconscious for about 10, 15 minutes or so. After she went unconscious, she would just sleep it off and wake up like nothing happened. Like she wouldn't even remember the fact that she had a seizure. Her seizures were just so strong, it would just take her out. And me growing up, I was always used to her having seizures. She had seizures, all the time. There was this one time she had a seizure behind the wheel, and the car flipped over. Hit a pole, and the car flipped over. We were about 5 minutes from the house. And I remember being in my booster seat at that time. And my brother was able to get us out the car, and paramedics came and they was able to get my mom out the car as well. So I've been used to it. We've had a couple of accidents of her being behind the wheel and she's had seizures. So something that I was just used to. One particular night, December 17th, she was staying up late to help me with my homework. I had this end of the year project due for my 5th grade class, Mrs. Evans. I had an assignment due and I procrastinated on it. So she had to stay up late and help me with it. And she had this unique thing that was very rare trait, which is called a aura. What an aura is a sign that you're gonna have a seizure. It's a sign that a seizure is imminent. So she would have these auras, all the time. And this particular night, she had an aura. It was probably like, I want to say 10, 11 o'clock at night. I noticed that she had an aura. She was just kind of staring in the distance, looking spaced out. And I looked at her. I said, "Mom, may need to take your medicine." She takes medicine for her seizures. And I said, "You need to take your medicine." And she said, "I will, baby." I said, "All right, cool." I left it alone, not thinking much about it. About, a few minutes later, her last words to me was, "I'll be right back, baby." Those were her last words. It haunts me sometimes to this day when I think about it. She went to the restroom and I heard her have a seizure. Now, my first instinct was to let my brother know. My brother was asleep. I'm in the office. I'm in the office. Mom's in the restroom. I go to my brother's room. I wake him up and I say, "Hey, my mom just had a seizure." And he said, "Nah." He didn't believe me at first. He said, "Man, why you lying?" I said, "Why would I lie about that? She had a seizure." He went to the restroom and he called, he went to the restroom. He saw my mom on the ground. Her neck was like in the corner and she couldn't breathe. One thing about seizures, having grandma seizures, is you need to make sure you can breathe, because you gotta be able to breathe. And her neck was in this corner, and we had a pretty small bathroom. And my brother, my mom was a heavy set, she was a heavy set woman. so she wasn't the easiest to move. So my brother was trying to move her neck to make sure her neck was straight, but he was having some complications. So he called my father. My father at the time was a state trooper in Brownsville, which was about 50 miles away, 50, 60 miles away. And so I feel like I should submerge my arms too. I'm gonna submerge my arms too. Yeah. Okay. So my dad was in Brownsville at the time. He called my brother called my dad, and he said, "Hey, can you my mom just had a seizure. What do I do?" My father's used to it. My father said, "Hey, make sure her neck is straight. Make sure she can breathe. All those things." For whatever reason, my brother wasn't able to do it. I asked my brother, I said, "Hey, you need my help, bro?" He said, "No, I'm good, man. I got it. So he went ahead and he told me to go to the office. I said, "You sure?" He said, "Yeah." He was kind of mad at me for whatever reason. I said, "All right, cool." Like I said, I ain't thinking nothing of it. About 15 minutes goes by, and my brother is still trying to move her neck. He's still having complications. I'm still not thinking nothing of it. I'm a kid, so I'm thinking this is like routine. She has seizures all the time. And so what I'm thinking is like, she'll be fine. So I started playing some games on the computer. I'm a little cold right now. I started playing games on the computer, thinking nothing of it. So my dad is on the phone. My dad is on the phone with my brother, and he tells my brother, "Hey, I'm just about to head that way." He said, "All right, cool." My dad's headed that way, and my brother, I sensed some panic in his voice, and I'm just like, "Dang, is everything okay?" And my brother still really didn't communicate with me for whatever reason. Now next part gets a little bit blurry. I really don't remember exactly what the process of events were in chronological order. But I remember my father making it home first, and then the paramedics came. My father came home, immediately started to resuscitate her. And at this time, it's probably been a smooth, almost an hour has gone by. My mom's neck stood in that corner, not breathing. And Dad comes home, starts to resuscitate her, give her mouth to mouth. He starts to, I don't know what you call it. What do you call it when you pumping? CPR, there it is. Started performing CPR. And nothing. And I'm watching everything with my own eyes. And I'm still not processing it all the way because, like I said, I'm a kid. Gives her CPR, still nothing. Paramedics came shortly after. After they arrived, they started to perform CPR on her as well. They sent me and my brother to the front room to where I couldn't see my mom, to where I couldn't see what was going on. Paramedics, they failed in trying to bring it back to life. I'm over here shaking. It's okay. I'm all right. Let me just breathe. So they try to bring her back, still, and nothing. And I remember as clear as day. The paramedics, one of the guys, I whispered something in my dad's ear, basically saying that she was no longer here. My dad is just like a movie, started crying with his back against the wall. As he slid down the wall, his hands went into, his arms, and his knees was kind of like in a fetal position. And for me, I remember at the time, I'm just like, dang, my mom's gone. And it didn't really hit me until, I guess, some days later that she wasn't coming back. But the thing that hurt me the most was the fact that I was the last person to see her alive. I was the last person to talk to her. I was the last person to experience her essence. And it hurt so much for anyone out there that has lost their parent. You know how tough it is. But for anyone out there who has watched their parent actively die in front of them, seemingly out of nowhere, that's tough. You can't explain that to anybody. You can't explain that to me. For the longest, I was hurt, and I felt this void in my life, and I still do. I've gotten a little bit better at grasping about, processing everything. Hence why I made that film, the I Love You, My film, that I dropped 5 years ago. And it's still a void, though. And I'm mainly sharing this because I feel like my mom wants me to share my story. Now, this is the first time I would say my innocence was taken from me. Because before she passed away, all I remember was happiness and me going to church with her all the time and me singing with her. Because I used to sing a lot in church with her. Her teaching me the skills on the piano. That's what I remember. But now it's gone. I feel like it was taken from me so suddenly. And for me to experience it with my own eyes, you can't tell me. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me that shit don't hurt. Because it hurts. You can't tell me how to process it. But this is one of the many traumatic experiences that I had in my life. Now, this has a bright side to it. Now, this bright side is what I've learned from it. I feel like we all need to learn from our trauma. So what I've gathered from this experience is what it made me. It made me stronger. It made me more appreciative for life and the relationships that I have now and that I'm continuously cultivating. I understand that life is precious and it's something to safeguard. That's what I learned. It made me strong. Losing my mom made me a strong individual. It equipped me for even more experiences that I can handle in my life. Now, it pains me to say this, but I got a real good look at death up close. At such a young age, to where it just better equipped me to handle it moving forward. It did. I feel like I have like a bit of a morbid sense of humor even now from that experience, just kind of how I handle my trauma. So I laugh off a lot of my pain. Don't really cry as much. Even now, a lot of y'all may be thinking, watching this, like, dang, how can Josh just talk about this and not shed a tear. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. There's some emotional block that I have. I know I have it. And I probably need to take, therapy from that as well. But also, that's why I'm doing this as well, to help me kind of help me get back to the root of everything and dig it up and examine it and truly heal from it, to where I can just bury it and then move on. But it's tough. It's tough, but it made me who I am. And this is just a small piece of the puzzle. And I hope that this experience, or I hope me sharing this with you, will let you learn a little bit more about me, who I am as a person, how I think, how I process things. I'm a deep introspective thinker. It's because of what I've experienced. I was forced to grow up. I was forced to grow up faster than my peers at that age. And the biggest takeaway that I learned in my life is to stop judging myself stop blaming myself for my mom's passing. Because I used to blame myself. I used to tell myself, like, on repeat, if I hadn't procrastinated, my mom would still be alive. If I hadn't procrastinated on that project, she wouldn't have stayed up late. And when I still have her here. That was the thought. That was the loop that was in my head for the longest, for years. And I had to give myself grace. And I had to understand that God was finished with her on her time on earth. I think that her job was finished. I still really sometimes don't fully understand. But she was called to the spiritual realm. And I know that she's here with me. I know that she is in the relationships that I cultivate. This led me here. Her passing led me to this moment. So, as unfortunate as it may sound, the greatest gifts come from painful shit. So, the gift that is me is because of the painful experiences that I went through, especially when it came to my mom. So this is pretty long-winded. I tried to keep this around 3 minutes. But this is a whole podcast at this point. it's like 15 minutes for sure. It's just of me just talking. But for those of y'all who have stayed and just watched this whole thing, I want to say thank you. I'm truly grateful. I want to say I appreciate you for wanting to learn a little bit more about me. Hope y'all learned something from this. But my takeaway from this would be to just keep going. Life sucks. It does sometimes. Life happens. You can't do anything about it. But it's your responsibility to keep moving forward. And it's your responsibility to understand that your loved ones who have gone on, it's up to you. It's up to you to keep going and to carry their name and their will with you at all times, and continue to share it with the world, because you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my mom. And every day I thank God for her. I think that's all I got. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to fully submerge myself at the end of each, at the end of each story and lesson that's shared. I'm going to submerge myself, and that's going to be my baptism. It's going to be my cleansing. And I'm choosing to do this public because, for one, the Spirit is leading me to do this public. And I just feel like this is important, not only for me, but for others who may be watching. Know that you are not alone. Know that the people that smile the most sometimes go through the most traumatic stuff. And I feel like that is me. But I'm grateful that I'm here, and I'm grateful to be alive, and I thank God for my mom. No matter how painful it was, I'm still here, and I thank God for her that I'm here. So let's go ahead and do this. Submerge myself, baptize myself, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Let's do it. Goodness gracious, why do I still feel cold? Let's do it. Oh, Lord. I did it. I'm gonna see y'all next episode. Taylor Talks and Ice.
Taylor Talks and Ice?
Yeah. Let's do it. That's Brandon in the back. Shout out Entry Studios again. Love y'all. Take it easy. We out.